Summary of Lecture 1 of Diploma in IFR course. So the first topic in Diploma course is Regulatory Framework, Sustainability and Ethics. 3 topics in one. So these are the topics, subtopics. We'll dive into each of them one by one. First is, why do you need an IFRS accounting standards? So we'll go further. Then, because now there is a globalization. So the impact of globalization. Because of globalization, now an investor has a wider investment choice. They want an efficient capital market where they can invest, and it will lower their cost of capital. So IFRS accounting standards is now everywhere, not just in one country, right? So everyone needs an understanding of this, whether you are in Singapore or you are in Dubai or you are in South Africa region. IFRS is everywhere because that's like a common language every accountants can read and compare. Next, advantages of having IFRS standards. Easy to compare among competitors. It is easier for cross-border listing. As I told you, IFRS is now everywhere. It's a common accounting language and it is easier appraisal of targets. Disadvantages on the other hand, implementation cost. Yes, there is an implementation cost of implementing IFRS. It's not cost free, it's costly. Then the lower level of details are lower compared to US GAAP, because US GAPs are very rule based, whereas IFRS are principle based on conceptual framework. Next is a principle based judgment. Because it's principle based, everyone might have their own interpretation, right, leading to more chaos. Now moving on to the next subtopic, that is IFRS foundation structure. So this is the foundation structure of IFRS, how IFRS is built from scratch. You need a monitoring board, of course. Someone needs to be there to monitor. Why? So that there is a public accountability. Remember, as an accountant, you have a public interest. Your duty is towards public. Who will check all this? So monitoring board is needed. Then trustees are needed. They will check. Their job is for governance and oversight, whether the company is working properly or not. IASB, there are two boards. One is IASB, one is ISSB. Okay, one is IS, one is IA. IA is the one who sets out the IFRS accounting standards, and S is sustainability disclosure standards. So IFRS S1, IFRS S2 are set by this board. All the other IFRS and IAS right now that you are seeing is because of the result of IASB. They are the one who have set out this IFRS accounting standards. Then there is an advisory council. Their job is to give advice. And interpretation committee, as I told you, it's a principle based. There should be a committee for interpreting also. Their job is to give how to apply. So they will give application guidance. Okay. Now, remember this full details you will get on my website from Sabiakta Academy under sabiakta.com. You need to go and register and purchase this course if you want the details of this. This is just a summary, okay, just an overview of what I have discussed in lecture 1. Then next stage is developing standards. So the standards, there is a process. Standards are not prepared as you wish or in a haphazard manner. No, there is a fixed process that every standards go through this process before they are being implemented. So what is this? First, advisory committee is there who will advise. Then there's a discussion paper that comes out where it will be discussed with the public before it is fixed. Then there's an exposure draft. It's like a draft. It is not finalized IFRS, but it's like a draft. Then there will be a final IFRS standards. Okay. Co-principle. When you are making the IFRS standards, it should be transparent. It should have a full and a fair consultation from all the parties, and it should be accountability has to be there. Then the consultation mechanism. You will give a letter, comment letter, where within a certain period of time, you should be able to get the feedback. Based on that, you will react. Public hearings, it will go to public hearings, and you will do field visits and test to consult. Next is the sustainability standards. So the two standards, IFRS S1 is general requirements and S2 is climate related. And also we'll go through the ISSB's objectives. So under S1, these are the 4 things you will cover: governance, strategy, risk management, and metrics and targets. So governance is, as you all know the word governance, how it is governed. Strategy, planning, okay, and risk management, how it is identified, assessed, managed, monitored, and metrics and targets. What are the metrics and targets to measure sustainability? The details of this you will only go you only have to go and see on my website. The detailed course is there. Okay. Then S2, for climate related, there are 2 types of risk. One is physical risk due to climate, one is transition risk. If we are moving to lower carbon economy, there's a transition risk. Then we have climate resilience and greenhouse gas emission, GHG. Then the objectives is to have a global baseline, because now everyone is adopting sustainability, so it has to stay with a global. Then investors need it, it's their need. And then interoperability. So these are the 3 objectives. Finally, ethics. Okay, so ethics, there are fundamental principles that you need to know. You need to know the conceptual framework, you need to know what are the threats, and finally the safeguard. So what are the 5 fundamental principles? These are the 5 fundamental principles: integrity, being honest; objectivity, you are not being biased by anyone, you are taking your own decision based on facts; professional behavior, you are behaving professionally, not bringing discredit to your profession; confidentiality, you are keeping your information safe, not disclosing to anyone when you do not have the authority to do so; and professional competence and due care, you are having your skills and knowledge are up to date, where you are acting professionally competent, you are not outdated. Then conceptual framework, you use conceptual framework to identify the threat, then you will evaluate the threat. Not all the threats are very too risky. Okay, some threats are very small, some are very significant, and then you will address the threat accordingly. Then the categories of threat: self-interest, where you have your own interest also, could be financial interest, could be any other interest. For example, you are auditing in a company where you are an employee also, where you are having a share option, so you are having a self-interest. Self-review, you are checking your own work. Advocacy, you are advocating your client, knowing that they might have some they are picturing a favorable picture. Then familiarity, since you are being with your client for too long, you might overlook their mistake. Then intimidation, where you have been threatened by your boss or any senior person to you to present a financial statements according to the way he or she wants, otherwise you'll be kicked out of your job. So that is intimidation. Pressurizing, they're pressurizing you. These are the safeguards. You eliminate their circumstance, you either resign, do not work for them, or apply safeguards, or you decline the professional activity. So eliminate circumstance, apply safeguard, or if these 2 are also not enough, finally just decline. So this is all about the summary of lecture 1 of diploma course. Now I will see you in the next, where we'll be going through the summary of lecture 2 of diploma course. So thank you for watching.